There are times when using a DSLR isn't practical, and it leads a lot of people to look at slightly smaller models that have still got a lot of capabilities. Today we're looking at one of those, the Nikon P5100. The P5100 replaces the P5000, which was just launched 6 months earlier, and in terms of upgrades the resolution has been increased to 12.1 megapixels. With the zoom it's still 3.5 times optical, and it stretches from 35 to 123 millimeters in 35mm equivalent terms. The lens itself has been stabilised with Nikon's vibration reduction feature, which we've seen in previous Nikon lenses. And the camera also features a 2.5-inch LCD screen with a 230,000 pixel resolution. You've got a full range of exposure modes, from auto all the way up to manual, and you've got 16 C modes to choose from too, while the ISO range stretches up to 2000 on normal resolution and 3200 in a reduced mode. The grip and the thumb rest are both coated in a rubber sealing to provide quite a secure hold, but the grip itself is a little bit shallow, and if you've got larger hands you might find it a little bit cumbersome to work with. Nevertheless, the camera is built from magnesium alloy construction, and it does feel quite solid, with the only exceptions being with the zoom ring, which is plastic, and also the battery cover, and both of those do feel a little bit flimsy. Okay, so on the top you've got the hot shoe, which you can mount selected speed lights on. You've got the control wheel, which gives you all the exposure options, as well as the setup and the anti-shake options. You've got another wheel here for selecting menu options. While on the back you've got the simple menu pad on the right, while the left's been utilised with a DSLR style arrangement, which gives you access to the menu, also to the playing back of images, and also Nikon's function button as well. It doesn't take too long for the P5100 to power up, and the focusing itself is also quite smooth. And when you're going through images, it's not slow in itself, but for each frame's full resolution to load up, it can take around a second, which is a little bit slow. One of the better points of the camera is its menu system, which is really clear and easy to use, and it actually spells everything out. You don't have to learn any sort of abbreviations to try and get your head around what the function actually does, like a lot of other cameras seem to do. As you can see from this shot, barrel distortion is quite clearly present at the wide angle end, but there is a really good feature called distortion control, which when applied does a really good job at straightening out the image. With noise, when you get to ISO 400 there's quite a shift for the worse, and when you get to 1600 and above it really is quite bad. Otherwise, images are packed full of detail, with shadow areas in particular retaining quite a good amount, and the camera's metering system isn't fooled easily either. Fringing also isn't too much of a problem, and it's only really visible under closer inspection. In some areas the camera does really well. It's really easy to use, it produces really nice images, and the features like the distortion control and the optical vibration reduction really do work in its favour. The only problem is that the camera is competing with a lot of models at the moment, like the Canon G9, Panasonic's Lumix range, and also the models from Olympus. And when in comparison, it does a good job, but there are certain models which outperform it in quite a few areas. Nevertheless, it does offer very good value for money, and for that we give it 87%.